Good evening, family. Welcome to Midweek Connection. It is an honor, as always, to be with you. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'm thankful for the energy, the time that you put into a movement such as this. I'm thankful that you're willing to participate in a movement that is driven by, fueled by, and continues to so completely circulate around love. Love, joy, and peace. Those are the things we promote. Love, joy, and peace. And if we were going to be called a church, that's kind of what we would be called, a church of love, joy, and peace. And we are one love because we recognize that we're all interconnected, connected with each other irrevocably and eternally. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here this evening. We're going to take just a moment and center ourselves and get ready to spend a little bit of time together. I have something I'd like to share with you. It's really in many ways a reiteration of who we are, what we represent. I may talk a little bit about the religious expressions that we've seen over the years, and sort of one of the reasons that I have felt a calling and a need to, in my personal opinion, somewhat correct an error and quite possibly start a new era where there's a deeper understanding, a more rounded understanding of God, of Jesus, of the Bible, of spirituality, of religion, putting religion in its place, because it does have a place in our world and in our existence, and also putting spirituality in a particular place as well, recognizing that all of those things are just descriptions of the attempts that we are making to make contact, conscious contact, with our true and authentic selves. Yes, people who are searching through religion are also doing the same thing. They're seeking to try to locate the true self. To me, I would say to us each, encourage us all to know that anything related to self-realization, self-actualization, self-discovery, even more than self-help, is essentially discovering God, uncovering God, recovering God. You are an emanation and a manifestation of the presence of God. You already are, without the need for anyone to say that you can do that. It's an automatic thing. If you are listening to me, seeing me, able to experience the human experience, you are an emanation of the divine. You already are a child of God. You don't have to sign up to a particular religious belief system in order to do that. It has nothing to do with beliefs, in fact. So that's what we promote here. And we promote it through the avenue of love. We believe that love is the ultimate. We worship love, as most Christians would say they worship Jesus or worship God. We worship love as most Muslims would say they worship Allah. We worship God as our Jewish and brothers and sisters would say they worship Jehovah or Yeshua or Yahweh. Actually, they don't say Yeshua because that's the name for Jesus. Yahweh or Jehovah. So we worship love. We actually do, unashamedly, unapologetically. We worship love. And for those who believe in the Bible and believe the Bible is the Word of God, if you want some Bible on it, 1 John 4:8 says God is love. And those who know love know God. Those who don't know love don't know God. So that's one of the reasons we worship God, because if God is love, then that means love is God. They're irrevocably connected as the same essence. And so when we talk about worshiping love, we're essentially saying we're worshiping God. The word God just has entirely too much baggage in our world. So I would rather say I love love and I worship love. I'd rather say that than to say I worship God or I love God. Because I love, my adoration and my worship is love. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, what that means, what it looks like. You are pushed by fear until you are pulled by vision. And so we've been pushed by fear. Religion has pushed fear, has used fear, and we have allowed that to push us. But now vision is pulling us. And it's a magnet, and it's drawing humanity to a higher way of being. Before we get into that, though, I would like to take a few moments, if you don't mind, and let's settle ourselves and center ourselves here into this present moment. And we just allow ourselves to be here right now. Where there's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do, there's no one to be. We're just here now. in this present moment. And this vision of one love is calling us, and we hear the calling, we answer the calling. And we say, thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, pure presence, Brahman, known by many names. At the end of the day, there's no name that can encapsulate the truth of all that God is. So as we move throughout the rest of this evening, we say, Spirit of truth, take from us what we don't need. Bring to us what we do need. We're completely surrendered. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk on the water wherever you'd call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. And my faith is made stronger in that holy presence. And so it is. And so it is. I'm going to invite us to a title this evening. If I was going to title this, I would title it, Come to Love. Come to Love. I want to reiterate excuse me, that although I am an ordained minister, I very much have a spiritual practice. I spend my entire life essentially preaching. I founded One Love. I'm the spiritual leader, lead minister at First Unity Spiritual Campus here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I am a reverend. To some people, I'm their pastor. To some people, I'm a preacher. To some people, I'm a heretic and a false prophet. All of those are titles and labels that people choose to and tend to put on me. Although those things are roles that I play in the world, as I've declared to you before, I am not here to convert anyone to Christianity. I'm not here to convert anyone to any particular religion. One of the things that I've had brought against me before is, you can't believe that and be a Christian. My response to that is that, well, thankfully I'm not a Christian. Now, again, I have stayed within the ranks of Christianity enough to hopefully have some kind of a voice to at least criticize the system, not people, mind you, but the system itself. I have enough years in it and experience in it that I think I have the right to do that. And even if I wasn't a Christian, I would still have the right to scrutinize it or to criticize the system as I see fit. Now, but the way I do it now is that I don't do it from a sense of I want to save Christianity, because I don't. Just like I don't want to save the world. The world is screwed up. The Christian religion is screwed up. If there's anything that needs to happen, I believe there needs to be a reformation. There needs to be a reforming of something fresh. And even if we're going to say that we're followers of Christ, it doesn't mean you have to be a Christian. In fact, Jesus is not the founder of Christianity. He has been dubbed as the founder of Christianity, but that was a founding of other people who wanted to galvanize a particular belief system, and essentially, in my personal opinion, stole the copyrighted name of Jesus Christ. And it's become even more clear here in the United States of America. And let me just say this, excuse me, Christian nationalism has nothing to do with Christ. It doesn't have anything to do with the teachings or principles of Jesus. Jesus was not a nationalist. Jesus was not an American. Jesus was not a Republican or a Democrat. Jesus was essentially apolitical and ready to call out any political system that mistreated people or marginalized people or demonized people. So Jesus would not be MAGA if he was here. Jesus would also not be blue if he was here. Jesus didn't have any particular political group. In fact, he wasn't paying attention to politics at all. What he was paying attention to was bringing a message of our complete and total unity and oneness with the presence of God. You see, my true aim is not to convert people to Christianity or to any particular religion. My true aim is actually more simpler and, in my personal opinion, more profound. I want people to find love. I want people to find a deep, all-encompassing love. I want people to find that love that's beyond the borders and beyond beliefs. That's beyond groups. That's beyond, it transcends all of our forms and formulas and all of the things that divide us. If someone discovers that love that I'm talking about through Christianity, I figured that that's wonderful. I think it's fantastic. I know some wonderful Christians who really do want to live as Jesus said to live, and they really are endeavoring. Many preachers within the Christian church who are progressive Christians are doing their best to rescue that religion from the downward spiral that it's taken. And I honor that. I respect it. I have friends who are attempting to do that. But if your journey to love has been led through another faith, another religious expression, or even just a secular way of living, it's just as valid. Because to me, the ultimate thing is to locate love. And people will say, are you trying to say there's many ways to God? I'm not trying to say that. It's obvious that it is that way. That there are many ways to the Christ essence and many ways to get to God. People who stand as door guards rather than doorkeepers to open up the door, people who are standing in the way of the door unless you have the right credentials, misunderstand the message of Jesus and definitely misunderstand the message of love. I am not a guardian. No one is called to be a guardian of the doorway to the treasure house of God. People have placed themselves in that position. They are mistaken. Someone who's standing to guard the door to keep people out misunderstands Jesus altogether, misunderstands Siddhartha Gautama, the original Buddha, or known as the original Buddha. They misunderstand Muhammad. They misunderstand Jehovah. They misunderstand it all because the truth is that love is encompassing, and love does not know boundaries or belief systems. Love doesn't need a belief system. In fact, it almost always stands in stark contrast to belief systems, because belief systems are, well, what I've said before, drop the BS. Love is more important than your religion. And if your religion requires you to hate certain groups of people, then you have the wrong religion. That religion should be dismantled and done away with. And I will say that about Christianity or Buddhism or Islam or Judaism or any other religious expression, Hinduism. There's no holds barred for Jon Scott with that. No holds barred. Any religious expression that excludes other people because they don't meet up to the tenets that were invented by the people who started that religion is, in my personal opinion, one that needs to be dismantled and done away with, because it does a disservice to humanity. What we really need now in the world more than anything else is not a bunch of people adhering to doctrines or beliefs or dogmas or good theology. Instead, we need a movement toward love and compassion. A movement toward love and compassion. Jesus, my Christian brothers and sisters, Jesus would not be wearing wouldn't be wrapped in an American flag holding an AR-15 to defend your Second Amendment. Jesus would not be wrapped in an American flag and holding up a democratic symbol. Jesus would not be doing that. The message that needs to be preached in all of the world is a message of love and a message of compassion. One of the most disturbing things that I have seen happening in Christian nationalism and white supremacy and in evangelical Christianity, one of the most scary things and concerning, sad, even angering at times things that I have seen is I literally saw a bus. There was a candidate running, and I won't name the party she was running with, but she was running for office in 2022 actually. And the bus that went by our neighborhood, on the back it said, Jesus, babies, and guns. And essentially what they were saying is that they wanted to align Jesus with their political beliefs and their personal values, which was anti-abortion. And you have an argument there. You don't have an argument for the guns, because even Jesus told Peter, when Peter pulled his sword to try to protect Jesus, sheath your sword, because if you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. Jesus was the one who was talking about literally grinding our swords and making gardening tools with them. Jesus was a non-violent individual. Jesus was not somebody who said to take over the government through force and through violence. In fact, he talked against that. He talked about loving your enemies. Remember that part? Love your enemies. So Jesus also moved us toward love and compassion. Muhammad wrote about love and compassion. The Buddha, of course, wrote about love and compassion. Love is the universal language of all of humanity, and it is the one thing that can bring us all together. And no matter what where we come from or what kind of beliefs we have or belief systems we've had, Ultimately, love connects us all. It's all about building connections and bringing together in harmony and in unity, understanding each other, showing empathy for each other, and sympathy when you can't show empathy. These are the things that help us to create an actual more peaceful and harmonious society. And those are God principles. Those are divine principles. All of this talk about a violent overtaking even the United States government, even if you believe all of the conspiracy theories that are made up by one side about the other, even if you believed that, to support a violent takeover and try to attach Jesus or attach the Bible or God to it is blasphemous at best and absolutely evil at worst. So to create a harmonious and a peaceful world, it doesn't happen through violence. You cannot shoot your way to peace. You cannot bomb your way to peace. You can't insult your way to peace. And any candidate that does any of those things will never, ever have my vote. And yes, I'm talking about Donald Trump when I say that, because Donald Trump represents violence, separation, and division. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you who I would not vote for. And so at this stage in my ministry and in my calling, any candidate that doesn't stand for love, joy, and peace is no way, they're not going to get my energy or my vote. It's not going to happen. Because I will not align myself with that kind of vibrational frequency. And any person who rises up as a leader, whose sole purpose is to serve themselves and to do everything they can to bring division and to tear things up and destroy things and bring chaos, sow chaos, all the time hurl insults, all they can do is show you their bigotry, then they are absolutely not operating in love. And that is Donald J. Trump to a T. For those who can't see it and don't like it and you don't want to turn this on anymore, you don't want to listen to me anymore, I'm not advocating for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not even telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you I can't support that kind of behavior, and I won't support that kind of behavior. Because it has nothing to do with peace. It's not harmonious. It's not unity. It's not joy. It's not love. It's not compassion. And the fact that over 80% of the evangelical church can do that tells us already where they're at. They don't follow Jesus. They're not interested in following Jesus. They would crucify Jesus again because of the way he looks. They would profile him, throw him in with extremist Muslims, and do what they could to have him killed or deported. Because that's the nature of where the Christian church has come to in the United States. And it's unfortunate. And in other parts of the world as well. In a time when division and negativity is so widespread, we need to make love our priority. We need to love ourselves first, because the only way you can love anyone else is to love you. We need to love our neighbors as ourselves, and we need to share that love with the world. Love yourself. Show yourself the kind of love and the mercy and the grace that you would want someone else to show to you. The grace and the love and the mercy that is talked about. Supposedly God is a God of mercy, but then on the other hand, God's a God of eternal judgment. One would cancel out the other. That's just logical. But many people who are steeped in their religious belief systems can't see it. But a God of love could not cook his children for eternity in hell. That God is a sadistic God with an anger management issue and an inability to forgive infinitum, which is what we've been taught to do by Jesus Christ, who was supposed to be the example of God. So back to this whole loving yourself. Love yourself, love your neighbor, share that love with the world. That's what we need to make a priority. When we make love a priority, when we make peace a priority, when we make joy a priority, we literally affect for the good thousands of people. This is why I'm calling all people that will to join me daily in practicing love, joy, and peace as your vibrational frequency. To show up in the world, as David Hawkins would have told us. Hawkins gave us the Hawkins scale on energy years and years ago. And you'll be operating at 500 or above, which brings you closer to your divinity, closer to your ascended self, closer to enlightenment, and operating in a high vibrational field that literally affects thousands of people around the world and offsets the evil that's in the world. So in a time of division and negativity, we need to make love a priority. As Marianne Williamson said, where hatred is loud, love cannot afford to be quiet. Love needs to be even louder, not angry, but louder. Love has the incredible power to heal. It has the power to bridge gaps between us. It has the power to inspire positive change. It has the power to heal this planet, to turn things around. It has the power to take us from divided into united. Because remember this, again, I go back to any candidate that's trying to divide us is attempting to divide and conquer. Whoever that person may be, I don't care if they wear red, black, or blue. A pastor that's doing that is doing the same thing, and they are anti-Christ. And I need to call it out for what it is. That is anti-Christ. Anybody who can scream and yell insults with their mouth and out of the same mouth say that they're followers of Jesus, completely misunderstand the message of Jesus, and essentially crucify him again right where they stand. So whether love shows up through religious practices, philosophical ideas, or simply through acts of kindness and understanding, let's unite around that spirit of love, not because of someone's religious brand, but because of the spirit of love. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. In the end, what matters the most is love. We all want it because it is a part of our DNA. It's a part of the God nature within us. So here's a few things to leave you with. Number one, our aim here is to help people find deep, abiding, all-encompassing love that is beyond borders, beyond beliefs. When people say, what is one love? And what is your point? Our point is to help point people toward finding deep, all-encompassing, complete and total love beyond borders and beyond beliefs. And number two, we're not focused on converting anyone to any particular religion, Christianity included. It's not my job. I'm not interested in converting you to a religious belief system. Remember this, religion is not an invention of God. Religion is an invention of human beings. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. Human beings invented cars too. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the religions that you choose. I'm not indicting religions. I'm simply saying God did not create them. So let's get that in our understanding. It's a creation of human beings trying to figure out how to manage the unmanageable, how to name the nameless, how to label the one that is beyond label, and how to control the ineffable. That's my personal opinion. So I'm not focused on converting people to Christianity or any other religion. Number three, valid paths to love can include different faiths and secular lifestyles. Some of the kindest and most compassionate people that I have come across in this life are atheists and agnostics. The atheists say they don't believe in God. The agnostics say they don't know, so it doesn't matter. They just rather put their energy toward love and kindness. I respect that. I think it's fantastic. Number four, our emphasis needs to be on a movement toward love and compassion rather than being an adherent to a specific church, a specific temple, synagogue, or some kind of a doctrine or theology. The emphasis doesn't need to be on those things. Let's love first. P.S. I may be a Christian. P.S. I may be a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Hindu. Number six, love is a universal language that nurtures and fosters connection and understanding. And as Brene Brown said in her book, Braving the Wilderness, it's hard to hate close up. So love is the universal language that brings us into proximity with each other so that you have time to hear someone's story and really get to know who they are beyond the labels, beyond the roles. Next, in the importance of empathy, there's an importance of empathy to create a peaceful and harmonious world. We need to choose a pathway of empathy, and that happens through love. Love gives us the ability to have empathy and sympathy, and it gives us the ability to be humble, frankly, so that we can try to hear someone else and see where they're coming from, and not just hear them, but listen to them. And next, encouragement. We're here, One Love is here to encourage the priority of loving ourselves, our neighbors, and the entire world. Love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Here's the code in that. Unless you love yourself, you're not loving God, and unless you love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. That's the code that's written into the way that's said. So love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. The self is the key to all of that. And until you wake up to that as a reality, you'll never be born again to the divine reality that you are. At One Love, we believe that love has the power to heal. Love has the power to bridge divides. Love has the power to inspire actual positive change. It is our belief that we have the ability to do that through the power of love. Next, love can manifest, you might not like this, but it's true. Love can manifest through various religious practices, various philosophical ideas, and simply through acts of kindness. Love can be seen and manifest just through an act of kindness, no matter what the person's particular branding is. And again, I know that messes with our heads because most of us have been indoctrinated all of our life that they have to be a part of our tribe and a part of our vibe in order to really love. Because without God, you can't have love. Well, the point is again, God is not into branding people. God has already put a signature on your DNA, and that signature is that it is good. That's the declaration of God. It was religion that told us we were bad, and it was the eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that created the dichotomy and the division to start with. The most, to me, one of the worst doctrines that has ever been preached in the world is that you're an original sinner. I'm spending the rest of my life doing what I can to, in some way, turn back the clock on that one, to refute that as a belief. You're not an original sinner. You're an original blessing. Again, one of the worst doctrines ever preached in the world is that you're an original sinner, and now you were born at a deficit, and you got to try to catch up, and oh, by the way, you need to do it through our religious expression. That's not true. It's unsound doctrine, it's asinine, and it's an insult to our intelligence. The reality is that you were born as a blessing. Your parents decided to have you. God chose to send you. You were a thought and an idea, a significant idea in the heart mind of God, who existed always in God and never will cease to exist in God. And then you were sent here on a mission, loaded and coated with the divine presence. You're an original blessing. Lastly, the essence of the message that we have is that love is ultimately what truly matters. Can you hear that? Love is what truly matters. Now, for those of you who are watching, some of you who maybe cut this off or you have had a hard time hearing me since I said that I don't like Trump, I don't like his platform. Those of you who haven't been able to hear anything else, please hear this past that. Again, I didn't tell you not to vote for him. I didn't tell you who to vote for. I told you I will not, because I will not be in that vibe. I will not attach my signature to that vibration. Back to this. Hopefully you can hear this if you've not listened to anything else since I said that. The essence of the message is that love is what truly matters. The essence of who we are is that love is what truly matters. Put a pin in that. Yes, I love Donald Trump. I don't like him. I don't like the vibration that he's decided to show up as. I do not like his platform. I will not support it. But yes, contrary to what people try to do, when folks like myself say that they don't like him or don't like his platform, they automatically tell you you're hating on him. I am not hating on him, but I will tell you this. There's no way I can support that kind of vibration. And somebody who is supportive of love should find it hard to support him as well. Because the essence of this message is love. And that's what truly matters. For those of you who hear a voice in your head saying he shouldn't be talking about politics, I need to point something out. I'm not talking about politics. Even if I am talking about somebody who's a self-proclaimed politician, I am not talking about politics. That voice that crops up in there is probably just your own bias, and you can listen to it if you want to. I'm relaying a message that anything that is the antithesis to the message of love, I will not support or stand with. And that includes the Christianity that has developed in this country over the years that has excluded whole groups of people, kept people out, stood at the gate and said, you can't come in. Jesus chided with people who did that. And he said, the Pharisees stand at the gate of the kingdom and they won't go in and they won't let anyone else in either. Get out of the way. It's not your duty to guard the way to the kingdom. In fact, I love this imagery. And people will say this is not good theology. It doesn't matter. This is the way I see it. You can say it's not good theology. That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you about it. You can keep your theology. I'm not going to steal it from you. I believe that the angel that was placed at the entryway to the Garden of Eden with the flaming sword, I don't believe that that angel was there to cut people and burn them. I believe that angel was set there with a flaming sword to light the way back to the original intent. That angel is still standing there. This is the light of love that is being shed on the pathway back to the Garden of Eden, the place of perfection, the place of your original intent. So that angel was not put there to guard and keep people out. I believe that angel was put there to show people the way back. This is the light that shines in darkness, even if human beings don't comprehend it. So again, lastly, the essence of our message is that love is ultimately what truly matters. And that is who we choose to be. So our message is one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. And the title of this message this evening is Come to Love. Whatever pathway leads you toward love, I celebrate it with you. And I hope for you the best in it. My friends, I've been with you long enough this evening. I want to say thank you for staying around as long as you have. Love you very much. I hear the music getting started, so I'm going to get up out of here now. Go and make it a great day because you can. I'll see you in the morning. Peace.